Okay, great. Lynette and Mary, I am so happy to have both of you on this LinkedIn Live session with me today. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Fantastic. So, we are coming live from Thrive with Mentoring, and we are talking about this wonderful mentorship relationship that you both um, have had over 6 months last year. And the wonderful thing is that Mary, you were the mentee, and Lynette, you were the mentor, and you have both nominated each other for the Best Mentee and Best Mentor Award for this year. And we are having our award ceremony on the 10th of June. So I am really excited and interested in hearing more about what made your mentorship so special. So I'm going to start with Mary first. What made it so special for you, Mary?
What made the mentorship so special for me was that I was able to connect on a personal level with Lynette. We
Mhm.
had similar experiences in our career, seeing that we felt at one point that we stagnated after having children. So now going back to the office, you ask yourself, what next?
Mhm.
So that similarity made us really bond and gel. And besides that, we're also in the same career field. We're in the field of human resources.
Mhm.
So that made us bond very well.
Great. The common background, the common experiences actually led to that relationship that was supportive and symbiotic. So thank you so much for that, Mary. Lynette, what made you decide to become a mentor with Thrive with Mentoring?
So I'd say first that I have had the privilege of being mentored, yeah,
Mhm.
and benefited greatly from that.
Mhm.
In fact, if I just reflect back on my upbringing, growing up, both my parents were teachers. And so for me and my siblings, learning started from home. And I had role models and mentors in my parents and my siblings.
Mhm.
And as I went through the different phases of life, I found myself seeking people who had walked the journey before me.
Mhm.
And so in my career, I looked up to different people who I approached to find out, what they did differently or how they have walked the journey in their careers. And they were
Mhm.
very happy to mentor me, because I look at mentorship as a continuous learning opportunity. Yeah. I always
Absolutely.
say, life is always teaching us. And so for
Mhm.
me, I look for opportunities as well to share my experience with people, because I always say, you know what, your story is unique. Your story can inspire someone. And because I've benefited from mentoring, I look for opportunities to pay it forward.
I love that. I love what you're saying about, you've learned, you've been on your journey, you've been supported, and now you had the opportunity to do the same for someone else. And that's the kind of mentors that we need, on the African continent, in the world, and woman to woman mentoring, it's always about how do we help each other, how do we share our experiences. So thank you for sharing that. And Mary, I'm really interested in what have you learned from your mentorship relationship with Lynette? What was a key thing for
I've had
you?
a number of things I've learned. One is persistence and knowing what you want. When you
Mhm.
talk about persistence, I would say that Lynette kept me on track, would set up calls, and she'd always ask me, how far have we gone um, on the action points that we had agreed? So,
Mhm.
persistence and also being there when someone needs you is very important because if Lynette was not there, I don't think I would have gotten to the tail end of this. So, persistence and continuous follow up.
Mhm.
Also, I've learned that you can also give back. In the process of giving back, you also learn.
Mm.
So we shared a lot, and we both learned a lot from these sessions that we had. And I've learned that it's good to persevere and it's good to follow your goals to the end. Push yourself out of the comfort zone and get to where you want to be.
Fantastic. And of course, Mary, you would have had to show up and do all of the things that Lynette had suggested that you do. So I think there's congratulations there to you to actually showing up, being persistent, and going walking the journey as well. Now, what impact, Lynette? Maybe another question I can think of that just popped into my mind right now. Lynette, what surprised you about Mary during your mentorship?
So, I mean, I really found, I'll use the word surprised. I was impressed really because first, like Mary said, we connected. And for me, that connection at a personal level made it
Okay.
easier to, to progress with the relationship. She was vulnerable, she opened her world to me, and she was very clear on what outcome she was looking, and then she put in the work, and so I was very impressed that every time we met she had worked on what we had agreed on and even gone further, to challenge herself to new things, new ways of looking things. So that persistence, that resilience, and actually the fact that she juggled a lot of things. So I think she shared here that she's a mom. I'm a mom as well. And so juggling a lot of demands as a parent, as an employee, as a member of society, so many things that come throwing demands being thrown at you, and she still made time for this particular relationship. So for me, it was more, yeah, kudos to Mary. She put in the work, and I was glad to see that there were benefits at the end of it.
That's amazing. So this year's theme, ladies, is Take a Leap for our award ceremony. That's our theme. Now, I want to know from you, Mary, do you feel that the theme Take a Leap resonates with your mentorship journey? And can you give me an example?
Okay, it really does because the thing is take a leap, and I took the leap. I took the step of faith of starting the Thrive with Mentorship journey. We were in the first cohort, so we didn't have any point of reference where I would say in Nairobi that this group did this process and these are the outcome. So I took the leap. It was a step of faith. We took a step of faith, and I've gotten to improve. I would say I'm more confident at work. I'm more comfortable where I am. I'm in a state where I feel I'm able to do things very comfortably and at my pace, rather than some time back where I was not able to juggle all these things and balance my time. So I took a
Mhm.
leap, and I would say yes. Um, the theme for this year really resonates with the mentorship program.
Great, fantastic. I think it's also trusting yourself, right, Mary, to take that first step and say, "I want to be mentored." So, so thank you for taking that leap. And here we are celebrating the both of you as nominees for the Best Mentee and Best Mentor Award. I I am from South Africa, and I know on the African continent, women leadership is really on the spotlight. I want to really hear from both of you about what you think about how the importance of mentorship for women in Africa. And Lynette, I'd love to start with you and your thoughts.
So, I mean, absolutely. I think the platform has changed over the years. We are seeing more and more women stepping into leadership positions, and rightly so. We're seeing a lot of leaders as well role modeling this and opening the door for women. And so, for me, I think I said earlier that your story can inspire. So I look up to people, and get into understanding their journey, and that inspires me. I seek to do the same for other people. And so for me, I believe mentorship continues to be critical, continues to inspire others. You never know who will be inspired by your story. So whenever I take a step forward, I always say, look back and put your hand back for somebody else and support them. And it doesn't have to be in a very big way, or you're in an organization. You can do it in your community, with your schools, just everywhere where you have an opportunity. And so for me, it is women, yes, and men mentoring, because I do have male mentees as well. And I was really inspired by Thrive with mentoring, pushing this agenda forward and saying, let's support, let's help women to thrive, and then, carry each other along on the journey. I hope that answers you.
That is a perfect, perfect answer. Thank you so much, Lynette. And we're going to end with Mary. What is, if what would be your message to women who are in the early stages of their careers that are wanting to be mentored? What would you say to someone, if they're thinking about being mentored? Can you hear me, Mary?
I would say to anyone, not only women who are young, I would say this to anyone, um, not only to the women, that mentorship works. It's always good to have a mentor because you have a point of reference and you also have someone who can hold your hand and guide you professionally. Mentorship works, so I would advise everyone to give it a try. And also, after being mentored, it's also good to also mentor others because they say mentorship is like one person sitting under a tree and talking to others, and the tree keeps growing. So it's like a tree with very many branches. So mentorship works. I would advise anyone to give it a try.
That is a beautiful way to end this LinkedIn Live with you ladies. Thank you so much again for your time. Congratulations on your nominations. I look forward to meeting you in person at some point. But have a lovely afternoon, and continue the wonderful reaching back and sharing your experiences and your journeys. Have a great afternoon. Thank you.
And you too. Thank you for
Okay.
having us.
Okay,
Pleasure.
you too.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye
Bye.
bye.